Hey boardies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today bringing out a setup plan review for the game Meck, aka Pickomino, depends on how you want to call it. Comes with a baggie, but I've already taken these dice out. If you want to see the weighing, the unboxing, the teaser preview trailer, that's also on the channel. Just check it out by searching AmassGames Meck or Pickomino. Also in the Rhino Knitzy playlist. It's also in the How to Set Up Plan Review playlist, at least for this particular game, the AmassGames playlist, amongst many others. So this is also in the family weight playlist because it's aimed for children. It is a push your luck game where you're trying to get the most worms. This is a multilingual edition, and I think we can probably just leave this out of shot for the time being. So this is a 4K recording, and what you're trying to do whilst I'm just filling up some time by chucking these out is you're going to lay these out in a row, aiming the game to get the most points. Most points is represented by the most worms, these worms here. You're going to roll the dice if you'd like to see how far dice roll. I will be using a dice tray today, but if you want to see a dice distancing, there's a playlist for that too, as people like to see how far dice roll. There's over 50 already on there, so let me know what your thoughts are over there. Please check out the comments and also the description for any updates for this, and also if you wish to click through, you can follow on LinkedIn. Sorry, there's LinkedIn too, you can follow on, but you can also follow on Facebook via Linktree as well as LinkedIn. There's also a link through to Instagram, so you can follow there with 2,400 posts. You can also support the channel via Patreon. And finally, if you wish to, there are occasionally competitions on Linktree. They are time sensitive, so you do need to keep checking back. Okay, so whoever wants to start can start. What you're trying to do is, like I said, get some worms. You can roll your dice, and as you can see, I'm just holding them together. You ultimately do need a worm as one of your dice, and if you do not have one, you cannot collect a worm. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to roll them all again. Now, what you have to make sure you pick up next time is no more of the worm ones. So you can't pick up this, that's gone. Now you can pick up a 1, you can pick up the others. If you want to pick up this, that's fine. But if you pick up a 2, you've got to pick all the other 2s up. Let's just say you do that. So now you've got a total of, this is worth 5. That's always worth 5. This is now worth 9. You're going to roll them all again. So 9, obviously we can't take that. 9, we can't take this. 9, so up to 12. We're going to roll them all again. And let's keep going. 12, and now we've hit 20, so we're 1 away from being able to pick something up. Go again, let's see if we can manage it. We can't, so if you can't go, that's it, your turn ends. If you had collected any of these, then you'll have to return something. But let's assume we managed to get, let's say 25, or let's go even higher than that. If you manage to get this, then your score will be 5, 15, 19, 22, 30. You'd take this tile, and it's going to go next to you. If you happen to, on a future turn, get something else, it's going to go on top of it. If somebody else happens to roll, let's say 27, they get to steal your tile and it goes in front of them. It's the topmost tile gets stolen. And if, let's say, what can happen is if I try and roll something and it's no longer present, so maybe I bust. So let's say I try and, I don't know, I only manage to get 20. This goes back, so the highest value always goes back first. And then you flip over the highest value as well. So you flick up at your topmost tile, it's going to go back in its position, and you flip it over. That helps end the game sooner. So in this instance, if you've got down to the final tile, and that has happened before, and let's say it's happened like this. So again, sometimes you're going to have these in different orders. You might have 24, so that's going to go back as well. You've got 1 tile left, so let's just say the 28 is remaining. If you have got 30, what will happen is if you go bust, you will choose to do the following. You will choose to chuck back the 30 and then flip that over, remember, because you always chuck back the highest, but you chuck back your thing first. So again, you count up all your points we have at the end, and then you see who is the winner. That is how the game progresses. Now, there's a few things you can choose to do, obviously from a strategic point of view. They include things such as, for example, trying to stop rolling dice when you know you've got exactly your opponent's amount. That's something you can choose to do. I'm aware I am sharing strategy, which you don't have to do. You can choose to rush and try and end the game, and if you've got a lot more points than someone else, just bust and chuck back one of your tiles, because even though there's still one more tile there, so if I, let's say I had this tile, and even though I'm busting and chucking it back to flip this over, even though that is chucking something back, obviously it's lowering my score and it still keeps something else in play, so there's no net change here. Ultimately, different tiles are left, i.e., for example, lower, higher value tiles are left. So if you've got loads of points, then obviously you're reducing points for other people. What's my review for the game? I think it's a 5 out of 10 game. That's what I've thought in prior plays and with this particular copy. It is push your luck. I even think about lowering it to a 4. for a few reasons. It's way too swingy. Like you see, I've rolled those dice, I've got nothing on that first turn. Is there much strategy? I do think there are some ideas in what you can choose to go for. But if you fail, I mean, literally, you penalise yourself. You've got to chuck something back. When it's not your turn, there's nothing to do. So even though you can play this 2 to 7, I'm surprised it's not suggested playing as a 2, or any number, to be honest, because there's nothing for you to do. And at 7, it's not recommended. It's recommended 3 to 4, but even then, or maybe even a bit more than that sometimes, but don't recommend that. Again, you have to flip a tile. It's fine, but if you do want to steal someone else's tile, you do have to get the exact value. So that's pretty much the summary for Heck Meck. Again, not my favourite Anakinit's game by any stretch, probably one of the worst I've ever played. He has designed over 700, Dr. Anakinitsia, so he's made some gems. This one, for me, is not one of them, absolutely. Bit of a shame, like I said, but if you do want to see a dice distancing, just so you know, that might be something of interest, then please, of course, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, share, like, and like I said, look forward to seeing you on more videos ASAP. But that has been Heck Meck. Like I said, a quick, easy to teach game. Hopefully you found it of interest, though. It's something you might want to consider trying. It's not difficult. It can definitely go in that category of games to play in the bath, which you may have seen in my other videos. And ultimately, it isn't something that is going to stretch you for too long. There are better push-up games. I recommend things like Port Royal, which is one of my sort of top 4 games of all time, amongst many others. Deep Sea Adventure, you can check on the channel, as well as Port Royal and all the expansions. So there we go. We have a Pickomino. Right, well, for now, back to the table.